This video might not come as a surprise because there is tons of people that will be asking the same question as what I'm hopefully going to help you answer. If you have the DJI Mini 1, is it worth the upgrade to the Mini 2? At the end of the day, if you are the type of person that just has to have the latest tech, the latest drone on the market, and quite frankly, if you haven't watched this already, I would suggest you go do so and watch my video where I do 10 reasons why you should buy the Mini 2. Obviously, that should be all the justification you need. The Mini 2 is a fantastic drone. Basically, you can probably cut this video short and go buy one. At the end of the day, it's a brilliant drone and it does everything you need it to do, especially as a beginner or a semi-professional. And if you want to go get one, there is some nice handy buying links in the description below. Case closed, click one of them, go get one for yourself. You'll have a very happy time with it. If not, and you're still weighing it up, or there's more information you want and a bit of a comparison, and again somebody else's opinion, stay tuned because we're going to run through those and let's see whether it really is worth the upgrade from the Mini 1. So here I am once again holding up two drones, the Mini 1 and the Mini 2, and once again talking about the differences between the two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cut this quite short, so basically you guys can make your own mind up. So from the off, obviously, there's a couple of major differences. Firstly, the camera. Okay, so as we know, the camera on the Mini 1 is 2.7K and the camera on the Mini 2 is 4K. Now, realistically, everybody thinks they're going to want 4K. It's bigger, it's better, you've got more resolution, you've got a higher bitrate, it should give you smoother picture. Yes, you're right. But at the end of the day, the Mini 1 produces some absolutely outstanding footage. Again, I've done a back-to-back on this. There will be a card above my head around now, so you can see and go check that out for yourself. I'll also include this footage as I'm speaking, so you can see a little difference. Realistically, both drones do absolutely fantastic. And more importantly, you know, unless you're watching it on a big screen TV, I would say easily 42-inch to 46-inch or above, you're simply not going to see a picture difference between the two. The next big upgrade from the Mini 1 to the Mini 2 is the controller and OcuSync. Now, I don't agree with other people's views to say that this loses some of the portability. Yeah, it's bigger, I understand that, but at the end of the day, it's got a bigger battery and it gives you OcuSync 2.0. And most people are going to be flying their drones either from their back gardens or they're going to be taking it out on a walk and flying it from a remote location. And if you're going to be doing that, it's going to be in a case, okay? So at the end of the day, the fact that this is bigger and slightly heavier, which it is bigger and slightly heavier, I don't see it as a major negative. However, OcuSync 2.0 versus extended Wi-Fi, at the end of the day, out the box, this will give you, on the Mini 2, a much better range out of the box than what you will ever get with the Mini 1. Absolutely fact, you just will. However, here's a little caveat. So the caveat is, obviously the word I mentioned is, or the phrase I mentioned is out of the box settings. So out of the box, yeah, 2.0 OcuSync will give you a better range than what the Mini 1 does. When the Mini 1 was launched, the range on that thing was absolutely shocking with signal break above the extended Wi-Fi. But I've done videos, range extender tests and settings to change. Of course, all of these videos that I'm actually talking about, there will be cards above my head around now, and there will also be links at the end of the video. So at the end of the day, we're talking about out-the-box settings. But when I've got a right tool chest here, like seriously, but when you start including things like parabolic reflectors, or Yagi antennas, copper ones specifically, or you've got the combination of the two, you've got the para Yagis, or you've got the ones that are available from me, which are the super Yagis, 2.4 GHz. At the end of the day, I have again proven that even though OcuSync 2.0 is absolutely fantastic on the Mini 2, using a variety of these gadgets, again, all these are tested on my channel, you can go check those videos out, the Mini 1 can give you better range than what the Mini 2 can out the box, okay? But of course, it does mean you need to buy a whole host of range extenders, but obviously, I've tested those out, so you can decide which ones you want to buy. So the point to my story is, yes, obviously, OcuSync 2.0 is a major feature, but incidentally, you can extend the range using tools like this to extend your range on the Mini 1, which will certainly match what you're going to get with the Mini 2. Now, next point is batteries and battery life. Okay, so if you've got a Mini 1 already, you can use the Mini 1 batteries in the Mini 2 drone. That's a big plus if you're thinking of upgrading. However, it's fair to say these do last around the same sort of time. Again, I have mentioned the guy previously. So there is Henry Coulson of Tech Drone Media. He tested some flight times using the Mini 1 and Mini 2. And again, there's not a huge amount of difference between the two of these in terms of actual flight time. Now, as you know, I do a lot of range tests on my channel, and I will be completely honest with you. Again, straight up advice. Thanks to a little bit of information via somebody who actually subscribes to my channel called PD Tech, who actually explained this really nicely to me. What I found is doing range tests, I found the battery life on the Mini 1 to be a lot more predictable. It seemed to come down in a really, really nice linear way. However, what I found with the Mini 2 batteries, again, this is irrelevant because you shouldn't be flying past those anyway. Whereas as soon as the Mini 2 hit 20% battery with the new LiPo batteries, it literally just drained so fast to the point where I didn't even think I was going to make it home on the range test. Whereas with the Mini 1, I had a lot more predictability. And again, thank you PD Tech for that piece of information. Yeah, really appreciated. So yeah, that's another little consideration. And also, LiPo batteries on the Mini 2 are a bit more finicky to store. They don't really like being stored full. You can damage the battery. Whereas the sort of lithium ion batteries here don't tend to have that problem. So something else I covered between these two in a test was the wind resistance between the two. Yeah, absolutely. The Mini 2 does give a better wind resistance than the Mini 1. I have flown the Mini 2 in winds I wouldn't even think about flying a Mini 1 in. That's a fact. But I would consider those to be almost, not reckless, but I wouldn't realistically fly either drone in those conditions on a daily basis. So once again, as mentioned in a previous video doing a comparison, that's the case for the Mini 1, that's the case for the Mini 2. Now don't get me wrong, both cases are nice and they serve different purposes. So the Mini 2 case, there is absolutely loads of space in there, if you can see that. Which is really, really handy. So that's the Mini 1 case. You can pretty much fit the accessories that come with the drone in there and possibly a little pair of Yagis, but not much else. However, the reason why I did like this case is because it had a hard top, and of course, if you was out in a grassy area where it is muddy or it wasn't suitable for hand catching or hand launching, that made a great takeoff pad to basically fly your drone off. Which kept it out of the dirt and out of the mud and everything else. Whereas obviously the Mini 2 case doesn't have that. So let's do a little tiny recap. Picture quality difference. This is better, the Mini 2 is better, but the Mini 1 is more than capable. Absolutely. When it comes to signal and range, at the end of the day, once again, the Mini 2 will do great out of the box, but you can extend the Mini 1 and again, possibly even exceed what OcuSync 2.0 will give you. Point number 3 is obviously wind resistance. So as I've already mentioned, again, this is wind resistance 5, this is wind resistance 4. At the end of the day, this is a very, very frank and straight up video. One did better than the other, but yeah, straight up, I wouldn't recommend flying in those sort of winds anyway. Yeah, the Mini 2 would be a little bit better if obviously you got caught out, but any sort of diligent pilot or drone operator, you check sort of air data, you check UAV forecast, so you're going to know what the weather's going to be like before you start flying, and you know that if you get into these drones above sort of 20 miles an hour winds, that's about the limit and you really shouldn't be going anywhere above that. I tend to not fly either drone in winds above sort of 12-13 miles an hour, just to be on the safe side. And then obviously we come to the batteries. Again, not much difference in the battery time, but I do find the lithium ion battery on the Mini 1 a little bit more predictable than what the Mini 2 was. The Mini 2 does tend to drain off quite a bit, but again, you should be home safe well before any of those become an issue. And then the small little feature of the case, bearing in mind, obviously there is lots of other bits and pieces where, yeah, the Mini 2 does feel a little bit more solid on the arms, and yeah, it does come with a nice little strap if you're buying the Fly More combo. Yeah, there's a few little bits and pieces, and yeah, you get a little bit more gimbal control with the Mini 2. Absolutely. You know, those are really, really nice settings to have on the Mini 2. But once again, I mean, I've never had an issue with the Mini 1. It's done just fine for me. And like I say, I bought this to see what it was all about and to review it on the channel. However, here's the problem. What happens when a new product comes out from a manufacturer? The old one drops in price. With this Mini 1, the price it is at the moment, it's a bargain. And at the end of the day, I think this Mini 2 is an absolutely outstanding piece of kit. Like I say, if you haven't already checked it out, go check out my 10 reasons to buy the Mini 2. And you will, if you buy this drone, you will absolutely love it if you're prepared to spend the money on it. Goes without saying. But should you, if you already have one of these, or you're genuinely weighing up between the two, from somebody that has extensively tested both of these, I can honestly tell you for the price difference, I'm not totally sure that, well, I certainly don't think I'd upgrade. Let me put it that way. You know, if I didn't need to, and I was just an average customer, average person on the street that was sort of looking to decide whether I should upgrade from the Mini 1 to the Mini 2, I'm not too sure that I would. But obviously, if you've got to have the latest gadget, then do it. You won't regret it. If you do fancy buying one of these, as I've already mentioned, there are some purchase links in the description below. DJI Direct and Amazon are about the best places you can get them. There is links for either. Obviously, I just appreciate you clicking those before you buy one, but you can't go wrong with either of them. This certainly has its positives, but of course, it's a little bit more money. This is a fantastic drone, but of course, you know, the price really comes into... Yeah, the price has to be taken into consideration, and the cost of this thing at the moment makes it a really, really solid buy. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did like it, give it a big thumbs up. It's really appreciated. Let me know what you think about my comparison in the section below. So, cut long story short, I do have a new video coming out next, and that is going to be a return to home feature test, basically, between Mini 1 and Mini 2. Given the fact that the Mini 2 is got access to Galileo satellites, I wonder if it will affect the return to home accuracy for the positive. So I'm going to put that in a test against the Mini 1. And then there will be a little competition within that video as well. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you know when that video comes out. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again soon.